Well, hello, Lisa. Kameraho.
Uh, Hobby ski,
Veluski.
jet lag.
Oh, oh, here.
I just say jet lag.
Oh, skius, uh, skius aflena.
Ski Saflena.
The tiredness of the plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, cool. Yeah. Let me do like, Jehu. Where did you go?
Uh, Kansas City for
Oh,
a conference, the Western History Association conference.
oh, okay. Oh, Gleva.
Yeah, it was good.
Hmm. Did you present?
No, no, just there to listen, but I co-authored a book um, about the Temecula massacre, which occurred in 1846 in Temecula. I work for the Pechanga tribe. I'm the archivist for the tribe.
Oh,
So
okay.
we were there promoting the book,
Oh,
doing book
okay.
signings, and
Oh, that's neat. Okay.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Has the book been published yet?
Yes, yeah. Pechanga. So Pechanga has a their own press called Great Oak Press.
Uh-huh.
So we published it with the tribe.
Ah,
Yeah,
what liver?
yeah. So it was fun.
Yeah.
I
All
did
right.
listen to last week's lesson, so
Okay. Liver.
I got caught up.
Okay. Well, good. 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 Well, I hope those recordings are helpful.
Yeah, it was very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so I know Eva will not be with us tonight, but I can't account for everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, here's somebody. Okay. Oh, here's Denise.
Hello.
Hello, Denise Kimarau.
I'm good. I forgot how to say it. I usually have my notes open.
Okay. Let me do it. What?
I usually have my notes open, but forgot. Here it
I'm sorry.
is.
I can't make out what you're saying. It's a little distorted.
Okay, I'll fix my speaker. Humming guma.
Oh, Velugama. Okay. 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 Gleba. Okay. Okay. And then okay. Oh, okay. Ashina Faith Dunya Ayla. We're waiting on others. So in the meantime, does anybody have any questions? Anything come up? Just randomly or from previous lessons or
Well, I wanted to thank you for doing the food. And I was wondering maybe you could do some like kitchen type uh vocabulary, but then I was thinking, well, maybe that's just like verbs and stuff. Like, like boiling or cutting or maybe we're not there yet, maybe.
okay, what other kinds of food or
Like, kitchen words.
oh
Like
yeah.
boil the water or
Oh yeah,
cut
yeah.
the apple.
Right, yeah. We'll get to that.
Mhm.
We'll get to that. As a matter of fact, tonight, well, if you took a look at the lesson, we're gonna do a little bit of getting into other verbs.
Oh, great. That's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So we can incorporate various domains into that. Okay. Here's Jane. Hello, Jane. Kimrao.
Hagama, Augustafine.
Oh, amigama. Okay.
Hi, Fur and Ju.
Hi, Fur. Shig. Hey, Wabasak Fur. Hami out in the mountain. I'm in the mountains. I guess I fat in the Sura. It's way colder.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I used to take the kids up to Santa's village.
Ah,
I've been
okay.
there like 40 years ago.
Oh, 40 years ago.
I've
Okay.
flown over that area too. Big
Yeah.
Bear. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Lisa, you were looking over at something. Did you have a question?
Yeah, actually, I did. I just wanted to say I appreciated last week's lesson, because, on Duolingo, we get no description or no, discussion about limb and lay and lay.
Yeah,
So that was very helpful.
Okay. Oh, with leva. So the thing to remember is that in Gaelic, all the prepositions, when they combine with pronouns, they form their own word. So they're not separated. They're not modular like in English. So anyway, so so they all have that, and then we'll be going through all of those as we go forward. Yeah. So anyway, Koyu. Okay, well, we'll wait a couple more minutes, see if anybody else shows up, and then we'll proceed. So, anyway, so well, okay. Well, so tonight, I thought we'd get introduced to the a few basic verbs, but also probably more important than that is the basic concept of forming a sentence with a verb, with an action verb. Okay. So and that's the most important part. And of course the very common verbs that we'll take a look at are important, but also I think more important is the concept of how exactly we do that and what's involved. Hello, Matthew Kimrao.
Let me ski.
Oh, Beluski. Oh, hi. Hami Dooley. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dooley. Okay, so anyway, Koyu. All right. Well, we'll proceed, I think. Okay. Anyway, let's see. So I'm gonna share. Okay, so now can you see the screen? Can you see my screen? Okay, Gleba. All right. So anyway, so tonight we really should pay the Samhain piper. Okay, so tonight I'll have a little presentation on Samhain. Which is the origination of our Halloween, and might be considered one of the major Gaelic and Celtic celebrations. Kind of a not quite a Gaelic Day of the Dead, but somewhat analogous to that. So anyway, and here's our Samhain piper. All right, and the link to send our donations to. Okay. And then also, as I said, the permanent link, or the permalink to to our folder, to our Dropbox folder, and where I will place all the material including the corrected lesson plan. If I make any changes, well, as I always do, I always make, probably a couple of minor changes, but also append the whatever class notes, we write during the course of the class at the end of the lesson. So anyway, all right, okay. So Clàr na Seachdaine, schedule of the week. So we're gonna have a Fàilte, we'll have a proverb, and how to say you're doing something. And Samhain, the story of the week, and song of the week, okay? And then, of course, at the end, they're not there yet, but at the end, we'll have the class notes. Okay, all right, okay. So, Fàilte. So I thought we'd do a little bit of the Black House, okay, which is the traditional building in the Western Highlands and the islands, okay, on Tai Du, okay, traditional type of house. Used to be very common in Ireland, the Hebrides, and the Scottish Highlands. And one thing to remember is people in any environment don't have, well, very often have structures that appear primitive to us. But we have to remember that these structures are perfectly adapted to the environment. And in fact, if you put a a middle-class American home, made out of chicken wire and plasterboard in the Highlands, it'll get blown over in very short course of time. And one thing about these black houses is that they're very well insulated. Very often the walls are up to 5 feet thick. And so not only built of stone, and they're thick, so they withstand the winds. And the winds can get very, very fierce up in the Highlands and the islands. But also they were kept warm. Of course, it's a cold climate. And so so it was very warm inside, and a warmth encouraged by, or what word you would use, fostered, created by not only the fire in the middle of the room, and I'll show you a picture in a moment, but also by animals. Animals would live in one end of the house during the winter. And of course, the animal heat was contributed to the warmth of the house. All right, so I have a little video here. Let's see, but let me just see. Let's see, you have a, yeah, it looks sturdy like a tank. Yes, indeed it does. Yes, indeed. Okay, all right, so I have a little video.
The Black House is one of our iconic buildings.
Oh, wait. Let's see. So I have to unshare and share again. Let me just do screen, share sound. Okay, here we go. Okay.
It was originally built in the 1940s on I.F. Grant's Canusie site.
Okay, so she's saying that this house was built as a replica in the 1940s, but it's modeled after the traditional black houses.
It was one of 3 historic buildings that were built on the site in the 40s. This is a house that would normally be found in the Outer Hebridean Islands of Lewis and Harris, built to withstand the severe weather conditions. You have the gales coming off the Atlantic Ocean there, so the houses had to be built very strongly. They would be normally built with the gable end into the prevailing wind. The corners are nicely rounded off. The walls are probably about 5 feet thick, and they're cleverly built of an internal and an external wall with a core of sand, which helped as a windbreak and also as a drain.
And sometimes they'd be insulated with peat as well. I mean, so whether sand or soil or maybe peat, would insulate. So it's not just stone by itself.
The thatched roof, generally marram grass on the Outer Hebridean Islands, but sometimes heather, was tucked in. You can see here, tucked in, so that the rainwater would then drain down from the thatch through the core of sand, and helping to keep the inner
And I'll add
house
to this,
dry.
and not that she's wrong, but I'll just add that sometimes in some parts of the Highlands, where there is something called bracken, which is a rough kind of fern, would be used to thatch the roof.
At this end of the Black House we have a kale yard. These were small patches of gardens protected from the wind and from the animals by high turf walls. In here the potatoes and kale would have been grown to feed the family, and the kale was also used to feed the animals over the winter months.
I'm Marion. I've worked here for a long time. I'm just going to show you a little bit about the business of the wool while I've been working here. So we can start with the natural wools. So today we have our indigenous sheep. This is a lamb's fleece. It's a beautiful fleece. It's a big long staple and it's very silky. And to spin this wool, you don't have to comb it. You can just spin it straight off the fleece onto the wheel, and you call that worsted wool. And the reason for worsted wool is it makes it much stronger, and it's easier to put on the loom because it stretches much further and it's stronger, and there's not really any breaks in it. Well, what we do first usually is we'll boil it in urine to get the lanolin out of it. Then we have to boil it again to put the dye in it.
Okay, so that's a something we might not be used to. I had a friend who grew up on the Isle of Harris, who told me that his parents were involved in looming and weaving, and they would have a big barrel outside the house, and it was the job of all the little boys in the family to pee in the barrel to collect urine to make the wool.
We'll come to that purpose. So once we've spun it, when we take it off the wheel, we can make a hank of one-stranded wool, the one ply, and it can be quite fine. After which you can then ply it. So myself, I just do it in two ply. It's quite fine, so it's thin enough. And then once it's done, we can then apply the dye to it. Now the lichens we have off the dike here, this is the time of year they're ripe and they're crispy and they're falling off, so you don't have to scrape. You just pick them up and you layer them in the pot on the bottom, put your wool in, another layer, more wool, and then another layer. Bring the pot to the boil, the lichens will start to go slimy and soft and they'll release all the colour. And that way we get the burnt oranges you see here. Urine will help to enhance the colour and fix the dye. And of course in the ancient colours, the urine was left in the cloth to keep the colour vibrant and to help shrink the dye a little bit, so everybody smelt the same.
The process, the principle of making rope was using a fibre. It's been going for about 5,000 years. Today we're using sisal, or you could use hemp, but we've got the jack the traveller, and we've got to use the rope 6 strands from the traveller to the jack and twist it. As it's twisted, it goes into 3 strands, and once it's tight enough, we use the cone to work the rope into the way it goes now, and it will be twisted and tightened, and that's the finished rope. Long ago they would have no sisal or nothing in a block house. They would just use what they had, heather, straw or grass. And probably the grass rope would be made when they were making the hay to keep the rucks held down in the wind. And when they were finished with them, they would maybe feed them to the cows to save waste, because nothing was wasted in them days.
All right, well, there we go. A little bit about the Black House. All right. Any questions? All right. Okay. Shanach an Shechina Islach Agulin Gunvraher. So go ahead and say that after me. Islach
Lock,
Agulin
Agilan,
Gunvraher.
Gunbrahe.
Okay. Weak is the shoulder without a brother. Okay. And and so I quote not a Scottish song, but a popular song. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Okay. And the idea here, and there's several proverbs in Gaelic, in Gaelic culture about community. Okay. And because as I've stated, Gaelic culture was a collective culture. It was a culture that emphasized the community and the cooperation of the people in the community. Okay, all right. Weak is the shoulder without a brother. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. And grammar na Shechina. Okay, okay. This week we'll expand our powers of expression. How to say somebody is doing something. All right. And so here we have Madi is column er kroch, on a hill. Okay, so Madi is column. Go ahead and say after me. Madi is column er
Amari is
kroch.
home.
Er kroch.
Crook.
Yeah. The CN in Gaelic is pronounced as a CR. Okay. No, that's what it is. So, Fater Falaf,
Fater Falaf.
Ha Ied a Fechen Churach.
One more time.
Ha Ied
Iet.
a Fechen
A Fechen.
Churach.
Kurak.
Mary and Callum are on a hill. Should be a period here. Far away, they see sheep. All right. All right. So, Amadi Agra. Amadi Agra. Agra. Okay. Hau Adol Yanavu. Hau Adol
Ha'u Adol.
Yanavu
Yanavu.
Anju.
Anju.
Nachel.
Nachel.
Yeah. So Mary says, you're going to the store today, aren't you? Ha'u Adol, you're going. Okay. And Agra says, okay. Hakalam Agra.
Kalam Agra.
Okay. Kalam says, Ha. Hami Adol.
Ah, Hami Adol.
And here, as we've learned, the ha here means what?
Yes.
Yes. You see, so in these constructions, and I'll explain in a moment, but it's called a verbal noun construction. The active verb is not the going, but what in English we'd call the helping verb. Okay, are going, are. Okay, so we would answer, is or are, am, to be. Okay, I am going. Okay, Hamari agra,
Amari agra.
Carson,
Carson.
ahau
Ahau
adol.
adul.
Why are you going? Mary says, why are you going? Carson, why? Ahau adol, are you going? Okay. Hanelmi kinchik, hakalam agra. Hanelmi kinchik,
Anil mikinchik.
hagalam agra, akalam agra.
Akalam agra.
Okay, I'm not sure, Column says. But Mari knows. Amari agra,
Hamari agra.
hau agiri,
Pa'u agiri.
briskichin.
Briskachin.
Nakel?
Nakhel.
Yeah. But Mary says, you want cookies, don't you? Okay. Okay. Oh, Hashin Kersht. Oh, Hashin Kersht.
O hashin kirsch.
Ha kalamagra.
Akalam agra.
Hami agiri,
Pami agiri.
giri briskichin.
Briskachin.
Okay. Abel usa,
Avalusa.
agiri,
Agiri.
rutsami.
Rutsami.
Yeah. Okay. So, that is right, says Column. I want cookies. Do you want anything? And USA, and here we have the question form, avel, and we've seen that before. USA, this is the emphatic, okay, for okay. Agiri, wanting. Are you wanting? Do you want? Rutsambi, anything, okay? And here we have an interesting construction. Root means thing, and some B is an additive that means any. So some B can be added to the almost any word. You can say dunya some B, any man, acha some B, any place, and so on and so forth. So some B is okay. Hamisha agiri,
Hamisha agiri.
sweetish,
Sweetish.
agus bottle,
August bottle.
iron brew.
Iron brew.
Okay. Hamari agra. I want candy and a bottle of iron brew, Mary says. Hakalam agra,
Makalam agra.
Column says, Carson ahana kurich, Carson ahana kurich,
Carson. Ahanakuri.
kurich, a chien
Achian.
anol.
Ano.
Okay. Why are the sheep coming towards us? Okay. 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 So it's like a it's like a spooky movie. And the sheep are behaving strangely. Okay. Karsanaha nekuri, the sheep, and Karsan why, and then ha achian. Okay. Hayatagiri,
Hayatagiri.
Rutigan,
Rutigan.
Asavu,
Asavu.
Kuchak,
Kuchak.
Stoka,
Stolha.
Hamadi agra.
Amari agra.
Okay, so they want Hayatagiri, Rutigan, something, Asavu from the store, Kuchak also, Stoka, maybe. Mari agra. No. Hayatafechen,
No higher fechen.
Fechen, Jelenach,
Sgeulachd.
Uh-huh. Or they see lightning is a chlúnchin
Saclúnchin.
tarnanach
Tarnanach.
fatar falav.
Farter.
Fatar falav. Okay, so or they see lightning and hear thunder. Fatar falav, far away. Hakalamagra
Kalamagra.
is ha ekel ora.
Echo ora.
And they are afraid. Okay, all right. Okay, so new vocabulary here. That you have translated on the side. And a fater falav, far away. Okay, fat would be far, and then falav away. Okay, ha ekel ora, fear is on them. Yeah, so very often in Gaelic, emotions are on us or with us rather than we have them. Okay, okay, so in English you'll note that we say they are afraid. In Gaelic we say fear is on them. Okay, and very often a negative emotion is something that's on you. It's not asked for. It just kind of settles on you. And so and just as an aside, how we say we love somebody, gul akamorsht, gul akamorsht. Okay. Is my love on you? Okay. Or my love is on you. Okay. All right. A gul akamorsht. Okay. So my love, gul akam, and next week or two we'll get into how we say we have something. But this is the gul, and actually possession is very often referred to as at me, akam. The love that is at me is on you. Okay, so so we don't have so, and in Gaelic we don't have a word to have something. Okay. Something is at us. Okay. Anyway, just something of minor interest. Now I'll let me put this in the class notes. Oh, this is last week's class notes. Oop. I will erase all those and okay. All right. Okay. Go back up here. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so in this dialogue, we see the usage of what's called the verbal noun. And this is the equivalent to the ing form in English, technically called the gerund or the progressive. Okay, so from the dialogue, and so I try not to hit you with too much at one time, just a few common ones. So a chian would be coming, a gra would be saying, a dol would be going, a fechen would be seeing, a chlunchin would be hearing, and a geri would be wanting. Okay, and we use the helping verb. Okay, all these use the helping verb be or ha in the present tense. Okay. So ha mi achian, I'm coming, ha eagra, he is saying, he says. Okay. So ha mi adol, I am going. Okay. And in the simple present, ha mi afechen, I see or I am seeing. Okay. Hamiafechen. Okay. And the verbal noun, remember, is a special form that we'll learn more about later as we go further, but it's different from the root of the verb. Okay, so it's not the same as the root of the verb. So the root of the verb, I mean, the naked form of the verb, the verb that you see when you look it up in the dictionary is different from the verbal noun. Okay, so right now we're concentrating on the verbal noun. And the reason we do this is this gets us into expression of action the quickest way. And it's very similar to, and for a while I can substitute for, well, let's see, I'm sorry, it's very similar to, as I said, the ing form. I'm going, I'm seeing, I'm buying, I'm, reading, all these words. And for the present time, we're concentrating on the present tense. Gaelic has a past and a future tense and all that, but we'll learn the basic forms of the present tense, and then we'll expand. And they all take the preposition ek, which takes the form of a apostrophe or ag. Okay? These are both forms of ek. So actually, when you say Hami Adol, you're saying something like, I am at going, Hami Adol. Okay? Okay, so I'll put that. So when we say Hami Adol, we're literally saying I am at going. Okay? Just right. Okay. Now, how to tell whether we use the a apostrophe or the ek, the a or the ek? Well, very simple. Sometimes things aren't so simple in Gaelic, but in this case it is. Remember the rule that vowels of two different words aren't supposed to hang out together? Well, so in this case, if the verbal noun begins with a vowel, we use ek. So we have a hard, agiri. And if the first letter of the verbal noun is a consonant, we use the a apostrophe, adol. So we never say ekdol, we say adol. Okay? And we never say airi, we say agiri. Okay? And one thing to remember, two things to remember, and there's always except, okay, and there's two exceptions actually. I only wrote one, but I'll write the other one. In the case of ra, saying, because for some reason the R might be heard as being either a vowel or a vowel-like or a consonant, you will see both a gra or a ra. I tend to say a gra. That's how I learned it, so that's what I say. But you'll hear and see a ra. Okay. But for no other R verbal nouns will you see this alternative. Okay. All others use ek. Okay. All right. So just for a ra, every other use ek. Oh no, I'm sorry. Use a apostrophe. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. So anyway, so all others use a apostrophe. Okay. So oh darn it, I was going to say one other thing. What was I thinking of? Oh darn it. Okay, I have to come back to this. All right. Okay. and we will have a series of flashcards to practice this. Okay, so, and oh, I apologize. A brilliant thought occurred to me as I was explaining this, and I and I forget it. So anyway, apostrophe ek amiadol. I am going verbal. Oh yeah. Okay. Other note. Okay. Note number 2. Okay. Just a little this verbal noun. Okay, well, I won't write it first. I'll say it. This verbal noun form is somewhat unique to Gaelic because, as you can see from the word verbal noun, it works as both a verb and a noun at the same time, and in various places in Gaelic can be treated as either or. Okay, so I'll just say somewhat unique in that it works as both a noun and a verb. Okay, in different cases at different times. And we'll learn more about this later. Okay. All right. Okay. So, any questions about this so far? Okay. All right.
No,
Okay. Yeah.
no, I said no.
What? I'm sorry.
No questions.
Oh, okay. Okay. All righty. Okay. All right. So now I will go to, just give me a moment. Okay. And I will remember to share the screen, which I sometimes forget to do. Oh, where are we? Right here. Okay. Is it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So you can see my my presentation here, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and of course, I'm going to provide this to you, and you can use it to practice our verbal nouns. Okay. So, and as I said, we have a small number of verbal nouns that we're starting off with. You know, as we accelerate, we'll learn more. And again, as I said, one of the most important things is to get the idea, the general concept of the usage of the verbal noun. Okay. Anyway, so let's go. Okay. So ha'e agra. So go ahead and say that. Ha'e agra.
Ha-e-ag-ra.
Ha'e agra.
Ha-e-ag-ra.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna go back here. Oh, I gotta stop the share for a moment and then start the share. I'll just share the universal screen. Okay. Okay, so I want to note number 3. The verbal noun with vowel onsets are pronounced like this. Okay, so it's okay. Agiri is pronounced, where are we? Oh, is pronounced giri. What's another one? Oh, agicha, eat or eating, is pronounced gicha. Okay, let's see. Geistich. Oh, ageistich is pronounced Geistich. Okay, so so these are just three examples. You notice how in each case it's not pronounced ek eerie. The G kind of slides over and is pronounced with the verbal noun itself. Okay, it's not ek ia. Again, the G is slid over. It's not ek eistech, it's a geistech. The G of the ek is slides over and it's pronounced with the with the verbal noun. Okay,
Could
and
you,
in the same way, agra is pronounced gra. The G slides over and is pronounced with the verbal noun. Okay? Okay, so that's just a little note.
could you say the eating one again?
I'm sorry?
Can you
Oh,
say eating?
Agia.
Okay.
Agia. Agia. Okay? Yeah. Agia. Oh, not Gika. E. Okay, sorry. Agia. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Now let's go back to our flashcard. So, ha'e agra. I forgot to put the strock in there. Oop, don't have it. Okay. I have to come back later and do that. Okay. Okay. All right. So, and I put the picture in here to as a little mnemonic device, help us remember. Hai akluinshin. So go ahead and say that. Hai akluinshin.
Haia Clunchin.
Hai akluinshin. Hai akluinshin. She is hearing. She hears. Okay. Hai akluinshin. Hai adol.
Haia
Adol. He is going. He goes. Okay. He is going. Hayet a chian. Hayet
a chin.
hayet a chian. Say chian.
Haia a chin.
Chian. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they're coming. I tried to get a picture that showed people coming home. Okay. Okay. Hae agiri.
Haia agiri.
Agiri. Okay. So so he wants, so this is like Oliver Twist asking for more porridge. He's wanting more porridge. Hae agiri. Hae afechen.
Haia fechen.
Hae afechen. She's seeing, she sees. Okay. Okay. See the big eyes, she's seeing, she's seeing something. Hae afechen. Okay. Okay, so here, fill in the verbs. Okay. The actions. What are the people doing? Okay. Hae
Alright.
agra. Very good. Hae agra. Okay. Hae
Clunchin.
akluinshin. Very good. Hae akluinshin. She's hearing. Hae
Adol.
adol. Very good. Hae adol. Haet
Hayan.
achian.
Achian.
Haet
Chian.
achian. Okay.
Chin.
They're coming. Hae
Aria.
agiri.
Agiri.
Hae agiri. He's wanting. Okay. And hae
Second.
afechen. Very good. She's seeing. She sees. Okay. All right. Okay. Gleva. So answer the questions. Okay. So avel u agiri ushkabea. So you'd answer ha Hamiagiri ushkabea, or Chaniel miagiri ushkabea. So what would you answer?
Kanye kanye mi agiri iskabeha.
Chaniel miagiri ushkabea. Okay, all right, Leva. All right, okay. So are you wanting, or do you want? In English, we would say, do you want? Literally, it's more like, are you wanting, or are you at wanting whiskey? Okay, a whiskey, okay. Avelu afechen ech. So the answer would be, hami afechen ech, or Chaniel mi afechen ech, hami afechen muk. What do you think?
Hanil mi affecting ech. Hami affecting much.
Hami afechen muk. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So this goes back a couple lessons. You know, we looked at the animals, and this, of course, is a muk. It's not an ech. It's not a horse. It's a it's a pig. It's a pig in a Sunday bonnet. Okay. All right. Avelo klunchin kiol. Hami a klunchin kiol, or Chaniel mi a klunchin kiol.
Hami a klunchin kale.
Hami a klunchin kiol. I am hearing music. I hear music. So here we have some fiddlers. Okay. Okay. Aveliet adol erfalaf. Hayet adol erfalaf. Remember, erfalaf is away. Chanieliet adol erfalaf.
Ayirado erfal.
Hayet adol erfalaf. Yeah. Yes, they are going away. Okay. Yeah, they are going away. Okay, they're waving goodbye. Avelia chien gaki. Okay, is she coming home? Haya chien gaki, or Chanielia chien gaki.
Haya chin.
Haya chien gaki. Okay.
Gahi.
Gaki. Kind of an old guttural. Yeah. Yaki. Okay. And at the beginning, you can kind of get away with it by just pronouncing it like a Y, Yaki. Okay. Okay. So, and daki is an interesting word like this. Yaki. It's directional. Okay. It's not just a place, but it's like homewards, like homeward bound. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now I will put these let me just do this. Want to get that stroke in here. And then I will upload these to our Dropbox. Wow. What am I doing? Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, raw. Okay. And I'll upload these to our Dropbox, and you can practice on these. Okay. You can go through and see the answers, and then you can go through and see the prompts, prompted to insert the correct verbal noun, and then you can answer the questions. Hamiagiri ushkabea, okay, or Chaniel miagiri ushkabea, okay, okay, all right, okay, all right. So there we have our first lesson, and we're going to go forward in this and learn more and more verbal nouns. Now I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to stop this for right now. Okay. Okay. So we'll learn more and more verbal nouns and expand our powers of expression to encompass not only things, but also activities. Okay, actions that we encounter. And now Gaelic has other tense forms. Has like English does, a future, a simple, a simple past, a past, a conditional, would do something, will do something, and all that. But right now, for a while, we'll concentrate, at least to get the idea, we'll concentrate on the present tense verbal noun. Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions? Okay. All right. So, where are we? Okay. Let me. I'm trying to call up my file. Okay. So I have a little presentation on. Now, if I can just go back to share. Okay. On Towing. Okay. Oh, now you can see this, right?
Mhm.
Okay. The original Halloween. Okay. Towing. And since we are coming up on Halloween, I thought it'd be appropriate for us to take a look at this Gaelic rendition. Okay. And it's traditionally considered the first day of winter. It's kind of a harvest festival, so up that far north, as far north as Scotland is, the harvest comes earlier than in the United States. And as in a way, Samhain is the kind of a Gaelic Thanksgiving in terms of being a harvest festival. And I'll just note that Canada has its Thanksgiving, mentioning that around this time of year right now, not in November, but in October. So anyway, so Samhain welcomed the coming of the dark part of the year. And it had a mystical and spiritual function as well. The barriers between the physical and spirit world broke down to allow a connection with the other world. So remember, in Gaelic culture, there's this concept of the other world. It's like another dimension, the world where the fairies lived and, and whatever other spirits might be roaming about. And so it was thought that at this time of the year, liminal time of the year, when days were shortening, days of light were shortening, and the nighttime was lengthening. The two worlds came together. Okay, the branes, BRANES, the dimensions coming together. Celtic pagan origins. Some Neolithic Stone Age passage tombs are lined with the sunrise at the time of Samhain. So throughout Ireland and the Highlands of Scotland, we'll have these tombs that aren't always tombs. We call them tombs, but the openings are aligned with the rising of the sun at the time of Samhain. Okay. And sometimes burial mounds are seen as portals to the other world. And so it was thought that these opened at this time as well. Okay, so Samhain was a liminal or threshold festival when the boundary between this world and the other world thinned, meaning the Oshi, the spirits or fairies, could come into our world. Cattle were brought down from the summer pastures. Livestock were slaughtered that was intended to be slaughtered for food during the winter. The Sgeulachd, that is the fairies, were appeased with offerings of food and drink to ensure the people and the livestock survived. So there's this offering of food and drink to the Sgeulachd. And the souls of the dead were also thought to revisit the homes, seeking hospitality, and a place was set at the table during a Samhain meal. And then also mumming and guising were part of a festival from at least the early modern era. And this is very akin to trick-or-treating. And the guise, I don't know if I can highlight this. Let's see, we're guising. Okay. Oh yeah, right there. Guising, that's like disguise. children would put on disguises, and not elaborate disguises that they bought at the department store, but like, rough hoods and whatnot. And they went door to door and imitating and disguising, so the Sheikhan wouldn't recognize them. Okay. Bonfires were lit. They were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers and rituals involving them. Children gathered barrels and ferns for the bonfire. And so, this is a big time, see a fire. I mean, nowadays for a celebration, we might set off fireworks. In the old days, they set a bonfire. Sometimes people would have a competition who could build the biggest bonfire. And sometimes whole districts were just alight with bonfires. And it's possible that we don't know the exact deity involved, but a primitive pagan deity was involved, okay, known as Baal in the Bible, okay. And of course, a massive ceilidh and a variety of games. There's fortune telling, very often centered for the young people. I mean, the teenagers and whatnot. Who are they going to marry? What a future husband or wife be like? What would their names, trade, their job, the color of their hair, how wealthy would they be, okay. And divining or fortune telling games. A shoe is tossed over the shoulder, and what direction the toe pointed would tell, where the person would live. The white of an eggs dropped in water. How many children? They'd read the egg whites and say how many children they'd have. Blind man's bluff with names written on a chimney. So sort of like pin the tail on the donkey, put a blindfold on somebody and they'd stumble against the chimney and whatever name they touched would be perhaps the name of the person that they'd marry. A dish of milk and meal, fuarak, with a ring put in it, and spoons were passed out, and a vigorous attack made by all who were playing to see who could get the ring. And of course, the ring would foretell who would be the first to marry. Apples were cut 9 pieces. They'd eat 8 and throw the last piece over their shoulder. And then the image of a future spouse would be seen in the mirror. So, okay. All right. Sometimes an unmarried woman took a ball of thread to the kiln. That's where they made the pottery, and threw the ball into the kiln, called the Sgeulachd, the eye of the kiln, and with the name of a sweetheart. Kosho he is open. Who is down at the end of my little rope? Okay, so so this would be a way to tell who who she'd marry, okay, whether she'd marry her sweetheart. And there's a story about a fellow who wanted to play a trick, and he hid behind the kiln and replied, Hamisha Anjevin, it is I, the devil. And so that girl never played the game again. Okay. All right. So, yeah, a bit of a trickster, that fellow, huh? Alt Krika. Okay. A game. So lift a stone and hold between middle finger and thumb. So they'd say, Tochimisha Chlak, I lift a stone. Marahok Mora Gamak, as Mary did for her son. Of course, the Virgin Mary for Jesus. Evri ervui nersht, in spirit and virtue and in strength. Genro achlach some gorn. That would be the stone of my hand. Gusan ruch mi mochaunuya, till I reach my end. Okay, so go down to the river and say this prayer, this hymn, and then stones were put below the head when going to sleep. And supposedly the person would dream what will come in the future for them. Okay, so Samhain featured many ancient sagas, so storytelling was a big part of the Samhain festival, and it's to remembered, and it should be remembered that oral traditions lasted thousands of years. So it's been recorded. It was recorded in the Highlands that that the same story was told over 1,000 years, passed orally from mouth to ear over this period of time. And so one story is that East Samhain, the people of Nemid, one of the earliest settlers of Ireland, had to give 2/3 of their children, their corn and their milk, to the monstrous Fomorians. And so this could be considered a sacrifice offered at the beginning of winter when the powers of darkness and blight are in the ascendant. So this is, mythological, the Fomorians representing, the winter, okay, associated with the god or montracon Crom Crook. The text claimed that a firstborn child would be sacrificed at his stone idol at Crom Crook. Okay. Okay. There's another story, the adventure of Nera. Okay. King Alil of Connacht, along with Queen Maeve of Cuchulainn fame, sets his retinue a test of bravery, offers a prize to whoever can make it to a gallows and tie a band around a hanged man's ankle. Each challenger is thwarted by demons. Nera succeeds, however, and the dead man asks for a drink. Okay, then Nera carries him away and enters the third house. The dead man drinks and spits it on the householders, killing them. Then Nera sees a fairy host burning the king's hall and slaughtering those inside. He follows the host, that is the group of fairies, through a portal into the other world. And he is tasked by the king of the fairies to go to a woman's house and bring a piece of firewood back to him each day. He does this for a long time, and then the woman tells him that what he saw was only a vision of what will happen the next Samhain unless something's done. And in the meanwhile, she's pregnant. Okay. He's able to return to the hall and warns the king. The king and his warriors are able to prepare to fight the Seachdaine and defeat them. So they have a war with the fairies, and Nera returns to his son and now wife, enjoys happiness and prosperity. Okay, so anyway, so the adventures of Neri. Okay. Okay. The boyhood deeds of Fian. The Shia were always open at Samhain, and each year the fire breather emerges from the other world and burns down the palace of Tara, the capital of the ancient Gaelic kingdom of Ireland. One Samhain, young Finn McCool is able to stay awake and slays Alan with a magical spear, and he's made a leader of the Fianna, the protectors of Ireland. Okay, anyway, so there's that. And another tale, 3 female werewolves emerged from this cave of Cruachan, a mountain. That was another world portal. And they killed livestock. Cas Corach plays his harp, and they take on human form. And the Fianna warrior Calcha Mechronan slays them with the spear. Okay, so, all right. And this passed into the early modern era in the poetry of Robert Burns in his poem Tam O'Shanter. Okay. What dangers thou canst make us scorn. With tuppenny we fear not evil. With Ushkabe we'll face the devil. Tam saw an uncouth sight, an unusual sight. So Tam O'Shanter is riding home and sees the unusual sight. And I won't read this. You can read that. Okay. Anyway, so, and in modern times, the biggest Scottish Halloween tradition is guising. So here's a picture, from decades ago, early 1900s, of boys in their masks, began during the Samhain festival. Parents would dress their children up in scary disguises to protect them from the evil spirits, the Oshi. The children would go door to door in a costume, and people would give them offerings of food to ward off the evil spirits. And the festival continues today with a modern slant. This is a modern Samhain festival. The Samhain Fire Festival in Scotland showcases the transition from summer to winter through a performance of dance and music, focusing on aspects of life change during the different seasons. So this is a picture of an actual festival in Scotland today. Okay, so you see it's taken on a bit of a Gothic look. Okay, all right. Anyway, so that's Samhain. Okay, any questions?
Diba?
Okay. So anyway, so in a couple days, just a couple days, we're going to have Halloween. Say, oh yes, Denise put up a scary face. Okay. Remember Halloween, not just as a day to trick or treat, but as a Gaelic holy day, when the worlds come together. Okay.
Right, All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve. That's right. In English or in Spanish, Dies de los Muertos. Okay, the Day of the Dead. Very similar. Okay. All right.
I was gonna say that on the it's like a week long, the Day of the Dead for I forgot if that's for children or for adults, but that they're supposed to come and you're supposed to have all the treats, their favorite treats there. And I remember I used to make an altar. So it's very similar because it's like, okay, that transition, like they usually don't, but at that time they're supposed to be able to come back.
Right. Yeah. It's a belief in the I don't know what you say, in the reality of the other world, either the world of the ancestors or the world of the fairies or both, or very much so.
So Samhain is always on the 31st of October, or is it like Gregorian calendar, or around that time?
Yeah, well, around the time, because remember, traditional Gaels weren't clock and calendar oriented. Yeah, so so it was around the time phase to the lunar month. Yeah, so rather than the calendar day.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Anyway, all right. Okay. All right. So let's what do we have left? Okay. All right, so we did, and we'll have a song. We have a song, of course. Okay. Let me go here. Where are we? Okay. So Imikarutta Hunikme. Many things have I seen. Imikarutta Hunikme. And the cat's on top of the hen house will make sense in just a moment. Okay. All right. This is a fun little song, and I have a learning video that goes along with it, but let's read it first. It's Imikarut Ahunikme. Imikarut Ahunikme. Ahunikme.
Ahunikme.
Imikarut Arainme. Imikarut Arainme. Arain. Is many things that I saw, many things that I did. And then again, it's Imikarut Ahunikme. It's many things I saw. Amui fug na haicha. So amui,
Amui,
fug
fug,
na haicha.
na hai, haika.
Outside all through the night, all night long. Okay. So hunik me,
Unig me,
the pishikin.
na pishikin.
Okay, I saw the kittens. The pishikin, the pishikin.
Pishikin, na pishikin.
Hunik me, the pishikin.
Unig me, na pishikin.
Your spears McIntyre.
Your spear is McIntyre.
On the hen house of McIntyre, the son of the soldier, McIntyre. Okay. All right. So, and then hunik me, the kutikin.
Unig me, na kutikin.
The cutty fish. Cutties are little fish, maybe a foot long, I think. Okay. Nakutikin.
Na kutikin.
Kunik me nakutikin.
Unig me, na kutikin.
Clich.
Flig,
And alt namoina.
out, na hoina.
Playing at the mill stream. Okay. A very simple song, a fun little song. So semikrut to hunik me. All right. So let's learn it now. So I think I've got the share, I've got the sound sharing, and let's go here. Okay.
5.
Hello, agus fáilte go Òran na Seachdaine cóla raim
Okay.
sa Josie
Can you hear this
Duncan.
now? Can everybody hear her?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Hello and welcome to Song of the Week with me, Josie Duncan. Today we're going to be learning a song called Seachdaine, which is a Portia Bale. So the first line is also the title of the song, Seachdaine, and the melody for this line goes like this. Seachdaine. One more time. Seachdaine. And now after this we have Seachdaine. I've done many things. Seachdaine. That's Seachdaine. With the melody again. Seachdaine. And moving on, we're going to repeat the title of the song again. Seachdaine. And then we have Amui fug na huige. Amui fug na huige. That means out during the night. Amui fug na huige. So together, this is line 2. Seachdaine amui fug na huige. Now, when we put those two lines together, we have our entire A part. So I'm going to sing for you now the whole of the A part, which is Seachdaine, Seachdaine, Seachdaine amui fug na huige. Seachdaine, Seachdaine, Seachdaine amui fug na huige. And again. Seachdaine, Seachdaine, Seachdaine amui fug na huige. One more time for our A part. Seachdaine, Seachdaine, Seachdaine amui fug na huige. Now moving on to our first B part, we have Chunnaic na pishakin, na pishakin, na pishakin. So it's very repetitive, which is always helpful when you're learning a new song. That's our first line. Chunnaic na pishakin, na pishakin, na pishakin. And the melody goes like this. Chunnaic na pishakin, na pishakin, na pishakin. Chunnaic na pishakin, na pishakin, na pishakin. Chunnaic na pishakin, na pishakin, na pishakin. So you've seen a kitten. The second line of our first B part is Chunnaic na pishakin spirish machgan taiger. And the melody goes like this. Chunna mina pishakin spirish machgan taiger. Again. Chunna mina pishakin spirish machgan taiger. So, our first B part is comprised of the lines Chunna mina pishakin na pishakin na pishakin. And the second one Chunna mina pishakin spirish machgan taiger. So now let's put that together. Chunna mina pishakin na pishakin na pishakin. Chunna mina pishakin spirish machgan taiger. One more time. Chunna mina pishakin na pishakin na pishakin. Chunna mina pishakin spirish machgan taiger. And now what we will do is sing the A part again, which we've already learned, but as a wee reminder, the words are Sgeulachd a chunna mi, Sgeulachd a rain mi, Sgeulachd a chunna mi, a mwy fáilte haige. Sgeulachd a chunna mi, Sgeulachd a rain mi, Sgeulachd a chunna mi, a mwy fáilte haige. Now moving on to our second B part, so we're over halfway through the song now, and once you have this, you have the whole thing. So our second B part starts with Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cútaigin, na cútaigin. I have seen cuddies, 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 and cuddies are a type of fish. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cútaigin, na cútaigin. Chunna mi na cútaigin, a cloich alt na mailne. I have seen the cuddies playing at the river of Alt na Mailne. So the first line of the melody goes like this. You'll recognise this from before. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cútaigin, na cútaigin. And the second line goes like this. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cloich alt na mailne. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cloich alt na mailne. One more time. Remember, when you have this, you have the whole song. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cútaigin, na cútaigin. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cloich alt na mailne. So now we're going to sing the whole thing, remembering that every part repeats. So the structure of the song will go like this. Our A part, which is Sgeulachd a chunna mi, Sgeulachd a rain mi, twice. Then our first B part, which is Chunna mi na pishakin, twice. Our A part, again with the repeat, Sgeulachd a chunna mi. And then our last B part, which is Chunna mi na cútaigin. So, please sing along with me now, Sgeulachd a chunna mi. Sgeulachd a chunna mi, Sgeulachd a rain mi, Sgeulachd a chunna mi, a mwy fáilte haige. Sgeulachd a chunna mi, Sgeulachd a rain mi, Sgeulachd a chunna mi, a mwy fáilte haige. Chunna mi na pishakin, na pishakin, na pishakin. Chunna mi na pishakin, spirish machgan taiger. Chunna mi na pishakin, na pishakin, na pishakin. Chunna mi na pishakin, spirish machgan taiger. Sgeulachd a chunna mi, Sgeulachd a rain mi, Sgeulachd a chunna mi, a mwy fáilte haige. Sgeulachd a chunna mi, Sgeulachd a rain mi, Sgeulachd a chunna mi, a mwy fáilte haige. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cútaigin, na cútaigin. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cloich alt na mailne. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cútaigin, na cútaigin. Chunna mi na cútaigin, na cloich alt na mailne. Thank you very much for singing with me. Cheers!
Okay, there we go. All right. So anyway, as I said, this I'll upload the video when it's available. The I'll make the documents let's see. Okay. Oh, so Denise writes an interesting note. The adults have 2 days to visit, and children have a week because they can get lost. That is, their ghosts can get lost, or they just want more time. Okay. Oh, very good. It's nice. And Denise, that's the child ghost, right?
Exactly, the ones who die young. They're called angelitos. At least my aunt called them angelitos.
Oh, okay.
Little angels.
Okay. Well, that's very considerate that the children get extra vacation time. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Well, Tapalev Ahula Dunya. Tapalev. Thank you. Okay. And again, if you have any questions as the week goes on, feel free to contact me. And then in due course, I will upload the material in our Dropbox. Okay, so Aikava.
Aikava. Double teacher.
Well, Akiva, Mahu.